Spring is about to be sprung. When springtime rolls around and you see scenery like this, what is that first card you think of? Well, we'll talk about that, and I'm going to share where my channel name came from in this 65th episode, so stay tuned. Hi, Topher here. Tonight, I'd like to share with you the origin of my channel name. On the surface, one might think it is because of my affinity of the Cincinnati Reds. A very true and reasonable assumption, and those of you in the community that know me know that to be the case. But that is not the entire story. On a brisk late October day in 1965, a movie debuted in film houses nationwide about the life of a fictitious poker player named Eric the Kid Stoner, aka the Cincinnati Kid. Born in 1930, the 25-year-old was on top of the movie universe by 1965. As a leading man, he was perfect for the golden age of 1960s film. He had a nice build, dirty blonde hair, and piercing blue eyes. The ladies loved him, and dudes wanted to be him. He was the epicenter of cool. His signature response was the uttering of "okay," but he drew it out more like "okay." From his first big-time iconic jump scene, jumping the stolen Nazi motorcycle over the barbed wire in the great jailbreak flick, The Great Escape, he was settling into a blazing fast and all too short career that would see him star in Bullitt, The Sand Pebbles, The Getaway, and Papillon with Dustin Hoffman. However, it was McQueen's classic poker game flick set in Depression-era New Orleans that inspired my channel name, The Cincinnati Kid. Steve was a well-known lover of fast cards. Fast cars, actually, not unlike this Porsche 356. That is in part of the scenes of Bullitt, which is the car that his girlfriend drives, a yellow 356 convertible, I think a 356C. He was also a fan of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Often in attendance at home games, McQueen was known to have a good friendship with pitcher Don Drysdale. Drysdale was coincidentally entering the peak of his pitching career. Here he is on the cover of Sport magazine. The article inside recounts the final 2 games of his 6 straight shutout streak that he pitched in 1968. I'll be happy to share more stories out of this magazine in the future, including players Don Drysdale there, Harmon Killebrew, who had a really cool advertisement in this magazine, and this gentleman, one of the most underrated players, Frank Howard. That might be the look he had on his face in that game, final game 6 of his 6-game streak, getting ready to set the new record. Another film would become a minor hit in 1965, a Western in the circa 1880s Western tip of Texas. It made no difference to the Motion Picture Association of America, that it was filmed nowhere near Texas, nor in the USA at all, but rather in Italy. It was assigned an R rating that kept it out of many theaters and from many would-be fans. It was a sort of sequel to the surprising hit film from the year before, Returning the Man with No Name, or was his name Manco? This movie is For a Few Dollars More. It stars another young up-and-coming actor named Clint Eastwood. The film was the second entry in the so-called Dollars trilogy of Eastwood spaghetti westerns, rounded out by what many consider the best of the three, The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I, on the contrary, find For a Few Dollars More the most enjoyable. The cinematography and sparse beauty of the scenery in the second film is better captured in the first or the third. The villain from the first film, A Fistful of Dollars, returns as a villain named Indigo in the second. Indigo must be one of the most underrated villains ever portrayed on film. Lee Van Cleef returns from his Oscar-like portrayal of Eastwood's hated rival to a more friendly rival in the second film. I also prefer the music score in this one versus the two movies, the one before and the one after, although the last movie score for most fans is its most popular in the series. Eastwood was a big-time fan of the San Francisco Giants. Can you visualize him sitting behind the backstop at Candlestick Park's home plate, watching Pete Rose, watching his foul ball, hoping it makes the seats? Eastwood hoping it would be caught maybe by Willie McCovey, Stretch hanging out over at third base. Or instead, perhaps the next thing on defense, he's watching Johnny Bench run down a foul ball, a giant foul ball, into the Reds' visiting dugout? I wonder who Eastwood's favorite player was. Could it have been Say Hey Willie Mays himself, resplendent in this 1965 Topps, posing with the outfield seats in front of him or behind him? Perhaps it was Stretch, or maybe a different Giant. Perhaps this one, Juan Marichal. Eastwood, however, with some research, was known to be an admirer of Jackie Robinson. So maybe Jackie was Eastwood's favorite. Eastwood was known to use baseball in his later films as a metaphor for the adversity that life can throw at us, such as the arm troubles of Sandy Koufax later in his career. A great hitter fails 2/3 of the time. In the game of life, the loss of a job, a friend, or family member, getting diagnosed with a disease, or being in an accident that will take an unbreakable will to live to overcome can bring out either the best or worst. Is there some inspiration from the endurance of our favorite players that we can apply into our own lives? Those that play through the pain of physical injury, such as Willis Reed during Game 7 of the 1970 NBA Finals, or the mental stress that Roger Maris endured during that 1961 home run record grind, the physical disease in Bobby Clark, who played with severe diabetes throughout his career, and Sam Rice, who lost his entire family in a severe tornado while trying to make it in minor league baseball, a state away. They could so easily have betrayed themselves and quit due to the anguish and pain they endured. Yet they said no. They pressed on and endured, fists pumped high, saying, I'm still here. Every time I watch The Cincinnati Kid, the end always leaves me pondering. Is Eric Stoner done? Or is he picking himself up and moving on? It's up to us to decide, glass half empty or glass half full. Despite our circumstances, the decision of how we view our circumstances is always up to us. So as always, I appreciate you all. Thanks for watching, and be safe at home.